The negative part has to go to the carbon atom containing least number of hydrogen. So this will go here. Potassium permanganate gives oxygen, nascent oxygen for the reaction. When alkene reacts with water in the presence of small amount of concentrated sulfuric acid. Here for example we have taken propene. It gives 5 nascent oxygen is taken up by Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 6 on the chapter hydrocarbons. Last class we studied about the physical properties of alkenes as well as the chemical properties of alkenes. Under that we learnt about Markovnikov's rule, anti-Markovnikov's rule and we learnt the mechanism. There are some more chemical properties which we shall learn today. Okay. So the first one for today is addition of sulfuric acid. So cold concentrated sulfuric acid is added to alkene according to Markovnikov's rule to get alkyl hydrogen sulfate by an electrophilic addition reaction. That is, in H2SO4 we have H plus and OSO3H ion, that is minus ion, which will be formed, and one hydrogen will, the negative part has to go to the carbon atom containing least number of hydrogen. So this will go here and H plus will go here to give this particular product, which is alkyl hydrogen sulfate. Okay. So example, propene if you take, for this H plus will get added here and OSO3H will get added to the second carbon atom to form propyl hydrogen sulfate molecule. Okay. So this is the first addition reaction. Next is addition of water. When alkene reacts with water in the presence of small amount of concentrated sulfuric acid or any other acid which contains H plus ions, the water will get added to alkene in the presence of what? Acid, to give alcohols. So for this one I can write a general equation also, that is RCH double bond CH2 with water in the presence of acid, you will get RCH, negative part is OH and CH3, that is alcohol. Okay. So example here we have taken 2-methyl propene. So this is 1, 2, 3. Second carbon atom has got the methyl group. So it is 2-methyl propene to which water is getting added up. Now OH minus is the negative part, H plus is the positive part. So the negative part comes to the carbon atom containing least number of hydrogen. Here hydrogen only is not there. So it will come there and H plus will come to the first carbon atom to give CH3, COH, CH3, CH3. So it is 2-methyl propan 2-ol will be formed. Okay. We can give some simple examples also. For example, R I can take it as CH3 group. So CH3, CH double bond CH2. For this, water is getting added up in the presence of acid to give CH3, CH, OH, CH3. This is propan 2-ol and this is just propene. Okay. Any one example you all can learn. Next one is oxidation reaction. So what is oxidation reaction? Alkenes reacts with cold dilute solution of potassium permanganate, which we call it as Bayer's reagent, to produce vicinal glycol. Okay. What happens? For example, you are taking ethene, treating it with water. Potassium permanganate gives oxygen, nascent oxygen for the reaction. Okay, that should be cold. That's why it is 273 Kelvin. You can see for this carbon atom, one OH group will get added up. For this also one OH group will get added up to give ethane 1,2 diol, which common name is glycol. Now during this reaction, the color of potassium permanganate will disappear. Potassium permanganate is dark pink or purple color it is. So when you add potassium permanganate to alkene, or where if there is a double bond, the color will disappear, and this is used as a test for unsaturation also. And cold, dilute, aqueous KMnO4 is called as what? Bayer's reagent, and it's also called as Bayer's test. Okay. Next is oxidation itself with presence of acidified potassium permanganate or using acidified potassium dichromate. What will happen? Alkenes with acidified potassium permanganate or acidified potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7. Okay. Alkenes get converted to ketones or acids depending upon the nature of alkene and the experimental condition. So depends on which is the alkene which we have taken. Here for example, we have taken propene. It gives 5 nascent oxygen is taken up by acidified KMnO4 to form acid, water, carbon dioxide gas is liberated. Similarly, we have taken butene, again takes up oxygen to form carboxylic acid, that is propanoic acid, water and carbon dioxide. Similarly, depending on where the double bond is present, depending on that the products are formed. See, when here the first carbon atom has the double bond, what will happen? These two are broken, carbon dioxide is formed, H2O is formed, and here the oxygen is getting added up to form COH group. Similarly, here also this is the breakage, you get carbon dioxide, water and COH group is formed by this carbon atom. Here the double bond is somewhere in between. So what will happen is these two bonds are broken, both are getting converted into an acid, that is CH3COH and CH3COH. It completely depends on what is the alkene and what is the oxidizing agent which you are using for oxidation. Okay. So that's about oxidation. Next is ozonolysis, a very important reaction. Okay. Ozone gets added up to alkene to form an ozonide, which further reacts with zinc and water to form aldehyde or a ketone. Okay. So this reaction we call it as ozonolysis. Now here you can see how to write. It is quite easy to write the reaction if you understand. CH3, CH double bond CH2. When ozone is getting added up, these two bonds are removed, and in between you have to add the 3 oxygen atoms, 1, 2, 3, and it looks like a a particular shape it gets. Okay. Further, when it reacts with zinc, it breaks up this way: CH3CHO ethanol, HCHO, that is methanol, and this oxygen goes with zinc to form zinc oxide. Okay. So I'll write one more example: CH3, CH double bond CH, CH3. Okay. With ozone, what it will form? These two double bonds I have to remove and add oxygen, ozone there. So what I will do is CH3, CH, CH, CH3. So here you see how I am adding 1, 2, 3, then link like this. Okay. This further in the presence of zinc and water, breakage of the bond you have to do it this way: CH3CHO, CH3CHO. So 2 molecules of CH3CHO you are getting, that is nothing but ethanol. Okay. So this reaction is called as ozonolysis. Next one is polymerization reaction. Polymerization is a process in which you are producing polymers. You take a simple molecule called as monomers. When you keep adding these molecules to form a large molecule, okay, we call it as polymers, and the process is called as polymerization. For example, if we are taking ethene, CH2, at a very high temperature and pressure with a suitable catalyst, when we are heating, it will form a polymer, polythene. Okay, it will form a polymer called as polythene. Similarly, here you have taken propene. Okay, at high temperature and pressure with the particular catalyst, it will polymerize to give polypropene. Now, how do you write the polymers, or how to understand that it is added to one another? I'll take ethene molecules, CH2, one more ethene molecule, CH2 double bond CH2, one more CH2 double bond CH2. Now, what we'll do is, we'll break every one bond each. Now, carbon has to form 4 bonds, isn't it? So, this carbon is deficient of one bond. This also is deficient of one bond. This will form a new bond here. So, this again will link with one another. So, this chain can continue, and you can see that CH2 groups are repeating so many times. So, what we do is, we write it as CH2 and write n number of times. That means any number of times it can repeat. Similarly, here also, this one bond is broken so that these two carbon atoms are repeating over again to give polypropene. Okay, so this process is called as polymerization. Next is, we are starting with alkynes. Okay, what are alkynes? They are unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing one carbon-carbon triple bond. They are also called as acetylens, and they have got the general formula CnH2n-2. Example I can give, carbon with carbon triple bond. So this is ethylene or ethyne. Then I can write carbon with triple bond CH, one more CH3. This is propyne, etc. So if they contain carbon-carbon triple bond, we call them as alkynes. Okay. Next is about the nomenclature. Here I have some molecular formulas, trivial name and the IUPAC name. I have already explained about the nomenclature in the previous chapter. You can refer that. Once again, briefly, I will explain here. So, 1, 2 carbon atom. So, the root word is eth and it contains triple bond. So, the suffix is "-ine". So, the name will be ethyne and the trivial name is acetylene. Okay. Next one, 1, 2, 3. If I number it 1, 2, 3, it will be wrong because the carbon containing triple bond should get the lowest possible number. So, this name is methyl acetylene. That is, for this group, one methyl group is added. So, the trivial name is methyl acetylene. But when it comes to the IUPAC name, 3 carbon atom is present. So, it is propyne. Okay. Next one again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 4 carbon atoms, it is but-1-ine because it is there in the first carbon atom. Next, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it is there between second and third carbon atom. So, the name is but-2-ine. So, this is the way that you name the hydrocarbons, that is alkynes. Okay. Next is isomerism. In alkynes, there are isomerism possible. One is position isomerism, one is chain isomerism. What is it? We will understand. Ethyne and propyne have got only one structure and there are no other possible structures at all for ethyne and propyne. Whereas if we consider butane, there is 2 structure, that is but-1-ine and but-2-ine. Whereas since 2 compounds differ in the structure due to the position of the triple bond, they are known as position isomer. Whenever there is a change in the position of the triple bond, we call them as position isomer. For example, you can see for pentyne here, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between the first and the second carbon atom, there is a triple bond, correct? In the second structure, you see, between the second and the third carbon atom, there is the triple bond. In the third structure, you can see between 1 and 2, but my longest chain is only 4 carbon atoms, and there is a presence of a side chain at the third carbon atom. Correct? No? Total there are 5 carbon atoms, but they are not present in the side chain, or it's not there in the straight chain. Okay? So, what is it? Pent 1-ine and pent 2-ine are position isomers. Why? Because there is a change in the position of the double bond. Correct? Whereas, if you take and compare the first and the third, or second and the third, they are which isomer? They are chain isomers. Okay? So, chain isomer means the chain length there is difference. Total number of carbon atoms are same, hydrogen atoms are same. The molecular formula is same, but the chain length is differing. So, they are chain isomers. First and second one, if you see, they are position isomers because the position of the triple bond is varying. Okay. So, that's about the isomerism in alkynes. Next class, we'll be learning about methods of preparation and about the chemical properties. So, thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.